First off, Father, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it. The reason we're here today is to learn about who your favorite saint is. Okay. When did you first learn about them? And if you could tell us a little bit.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to begin with articulating that in 11th grade, I participated in an event called World Youth Day. I knew kind of what it was about, but I had no clue the magnanimity of how great an event it would be. And it began with St. John Paul II getting off a plane, shaking the hand of Bill Clinton, making a very beautiful, courageous statement about the need to defend human life. I was in Mile High Stadium. He had not yet arrived at the stadium, but around the entire perimeter, it was raining. When he came through the doors, the entranceway in the Pope-mobile, the stadium erupted. And John Paul II, being the holy man and being the wonderful character with a profound heart that he enjoyed being young among the young. In fact, one time a reporter asked him, "Why do you like being around young people?" He said in Polish, and I can't repeat the Polish language, "You look like the company that you keep." So he came into the arena, and I remember that he looked at all the tens of thousands of other young people. He looked right at me, among them too as well. And I remember him stating, "Young people of the world, today we are facing the greatest confrontation between good and evil humankind has ever seen." But he wasn't downtrodden. He looked right at the young people with a great smile, and he said, "Because you are in the world, you are the greatest saints of all time." At that moment, it was a watershed. And I would say that from that moment through today, I can't say that I've read everything that he's written, but I can say that his impact on my life, knowing his family background, knowing how and where he came from, the adversities, the illnesses that he had, the assassination attempt, his radical need and desire to forgive, his radical need to show what love will look like in the world. Only he could be the Pope that he was, to write, to witness, to travel. Only he could live the way that he lived. And in April 2005, days before dying, going before the Vatican papal apartment, and raising his hands and blessing people. The man who had great words to bring down rulers, to be one of the contributors to the downfall of communism. This holy man could no longer articulate anything, but did what St. John Marie Vianney did 150 years prior, raise his hands and bless people. He was anything but mediocre. In fact, his biographer, George Weigel, would say John Paul II was a man who was in love with love. He knew full well what love could do. It wasn't that he knew what love could do. He was open to the creative power of love, to the creative witness of love. And for him, in the words of St. Augustine, love was everything.
That's beautiful. And I think I remember watching that World Youth Day on television. Could you tell us about your relationship with him and the impact he's had personally on you?
I had an opportunity one time to shake his hand, and it wasn't even a conversation, it was just a very simple word of inspiration, and I'm going to keep that very private. But it was more in the visible witness. We, in light of our baptism, we are called to not have one word in our life. The word that should never be in my life or your life is the word mediocrity. And if you follow how he was raised in Poland, his sister died when he was young, his brother died, his mother died. He took care of his father. His father died. He was working 3 jobs in order to avoid being deported to Germany after the German invasion of Poland. He went out of his way to hide Jewish friends in his basement and his attic. And yet, in that moment, unlike many people, he did not despair. Love was already taking root in his heart. Entering the seminary and being ordained in 1946, what did he do? He let love, devotion to the Eucharist, and devotion to Mary really reign over his priesthood. He was, in my opinion, part of the trifecta of sainthood. In a very tiny region in Poland, you had 3 phenomenal saints. St. Faustina Kowalska, St. Magdalene Kolbe, and St. John Paul II. And all three of them bore witness to the reality that Jesus is real. The fact that all was made through him, all was made for him, he is before all else that is. That love transforms not only the entire cosmic order, but the heart right in front of you. John Paul II lived that. Not only how he wrote, his writings are profound. That beautiful book, Love and Responsibility, he said in Love and Responsibility, the more you love someone, the more you take their destiny as your responsibility. Beautiful, beautiful quote. As beautiful as his writings were, how he looked at the human person, the personal engagement. People remember him not only for what he wrote, not only for the powerful homilies, but that eye-to-eye and heart-to-heart connection. The world needed him. The world needed how he lived. The world needed how he spoke. And the world needed to witness how he even passed into glory.
Father, thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing your story and just how important St. John Paul II is to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.